everyone, and welcome to another Origins of Expressions. Today, we'll be going over the phrases calm before the storm, raining cats and dogs, to weather the storm. What do they all have in common? They're all phrases and idioms around storms. Let's go ahead and get right to work and start this video. Storms, those huge weather systems that create bright lightning, loud cracks of thunder, and large amounts of rain. Whether you love watching storms or hide away in fear, they have been an important part of our planet. So it is no surprise that we have them in our language. And because of the intensity they bring, we have created idioms around them. Today, we will explore 3 idioms where storms are the subject. Let's not waste any time and pour into our first phrase. Calm before the storm. Calm before the storm means a peaceful period that comes just before a busier and more difficult one. Ooh, it's the calm before the storm. This saying started out as a nautical term. Sailors observed that right before a storm, the weather became strangely calm. Maybe you've experienced the same thing. You're outside and everything suddenly becomes very quiet and calm. The birds stop chirping, there's no rain, even the wind has stopped blowing. Everything becomes unusually calm and quiet. Then the clouds start rolling in. Why does this happen, you ask? Well, the storm needs warm, moist air to fuel it. When the storm is approaching, it attracts all of the surrounding air towards it. That leaves a low pressure vacuum. Air then rushes to fill the vacuum. The air that fills the void is warm, but drier than the air that was there before. The air is very stable and causes what is referred to as the calm or a lull before the storm. This phrase has been used for quite a bit of time. We first see it used in a play called The Dumb Knight, a historical comedy, written by Lewis Machen and Jarvis Markham in 1601. The phrase used terms from that time period. It reads, "Fast locked in her bed, with a close ward to devour thee, my brave Periquito. But hush, no words, there is a calm before the tempest." Today, we still use the phrase calm before the storm to say that we are in a peaceful period of time that comes just before a busier and more difficult one. An example sentence is, "This is just the calm before the storm. When the kids get home from school, this house turns into madness." Well, it looks like this happens all the time. Let's let her rest before the kids get home, and we can move into our next phrase. Raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs means raining very hard, a heavy rain. Wow, it's raining cats and dogs out there. This phrase is quite interesting. It is unclear where it comes from, but the image of kittens and puppies falling from the sky, whew, that's quite scary. But it does seem that the phrase started in the 1700s, and it was not due to cats and dogs falling from the sky. There are a few theories, though, about where the saying came from. Some of them being mythical stories and fairy tales. Like dogs and wolves were attendants to Odin, the god of storms. So sailors associated dogs with rain. Or witches often took the form of their familiars, which were cats, and they were supposed to have ridden in the wind. It's also been suggested that cats and dogs were washed away from roofs during heavy weather. These are all nonsensical and widely repeated tales from history. The first written history of raining cats and dogs is from the comedy The Woman Wears the Breeches in 1653 by Richard Brome. It reads, "It shall rain, dogs and polecats." Okay, I know it says polecats and not cats, but if we're talking about language, if it sounds the same, our brains imagine it to be the same. The first appearance of how we say it and mean it today is from Jonathan Swift's A Complete Collection of Polite and Ingenious Conversation, written in 1738. It reads, "I know Sir John will go, though he was sure it would rain cats and dogs." It is said that Jonathan Swift had alluded to the streets flowing with dead cats and dogs some years earlier, even though he did not write it down as raining cats and dogs until 1738. Today, we still use this phrase when we want to express it's raining really hard. An example sentence is, "It rains cats and dogs during the monsoon season in India." Well, let's hope they don't get too much rain. Let's stay dry and move over into our next phrase. To weather the storm. To weather the storm means to handle a difficult period of time successfully, to reach the end of some hardship or problem without much damage or harm. Whew, we weathered that storm. This term is also a nautical term. It has been around since the mid 1600s, and it was used literally to express a ship coming home safely after going through bad weather. We do not see the first written history of "to weather the storm" used as an idiom until 1849, when "The History of England" by Thomas Macaulay. It reads, "They weathered together the fiercest storms of faction." Today we still use the phrase "to weather the storm" to say we just had a tough time, but we got through it. An example sentence is, "When Billy was laid off, the family had to weather the storm until he found a new job." Well, looks like they made it through that storm. Let's leave them as we move on. Ooh, fun fact. Did you know that lightning is so intense that it is 5 times hotter than the sun? Yep, that's right. Lightning can reach 30,000 degrees Celsius or 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's hot. The lightning holds all that heat in such a small package. The thickness of a lightning bolt is only 2 to 3 centimeters or about 1 inch thick, but can be up to 3 miles long, and it travels at the speed of 27,000 miles per hour. One of the coolest things lightning can do, of course, other than putting on a brilliant show, if lightning strikes sand or sandy soil, it fuses together the grains to create a small glass-like tube known as a fulgurite. One of the scariest things it can do is destroy trees. When lightning hits a tree, it usually travels just below the tree bark, where there are layers of sap and water. This layer becomes intensely heated and expands, causing the bark to be blasted off the tree and sometimes splitting the wood. Lightning is cool and scary all at the same time. Well, that's the information that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed learning about the origins of our idioms and phrases. I would love to have you subscribe if you did. Plus, it will help you weather the storm when you're looking for more of my videos to watch. Subscribing to the channel makes them easy to find. Plus, it's quick and easy, and I would really appreciate it. Oh yeah, quick question before you go. Do you know any idioms or phrases around storms? Maybe you know other idioms or phrases on an entirely different subject. I would love to see them. Leave them in the comments below. And if I use one of the phrases, I'll give you a shout out. Thank you again for watching and subscribing. I really appreciate your support. Until next time, bye.